Almost got that transition figured out. Still messed up something with that. I think I know what it is. Greetings, EG Wife, who says, Merry Christmas, my fellow Alaskan. Same to you. Hope you and your family are having a wonderful time of year, getting a chance to spend it with family and friends and make some wonderful memories. We're not going to be going on for too terribly long today. We're going to probably be doing something again later on this evening. Last night we had a very long, kind of impromptu sort of stream. No real plan, and it went fairly well. And today I have a much shorter time frame. It's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, kind of depending on how things go. And what sort of messages I receive between now and then. But anyway, hope you all are doing well, whether you're watching now or watching in the future. We're going to be doing a short animation, one where basically a Christmas tree is going to build up out of the ground. I know, fairly mundane as animations go, but it is a good, simple thing to be able to do, especially when the other animations are kind of stuck in render limbo right now. So this is a simple one, be able to do in a moment. But yeah, we will see how it turns out. Now I noticed earlier this morning I got a copyright flag for playing this music. Classical music from a guy who's been dead for decades. So somehow I don't trust YouTube when they say things like that, or Twitch or whatnot. And so, because it would be what he would have wanted, I will play what our wonderful composer Tchaikovsky would have wanted, to have his music being a commonly listened to track into the modern age. You know, it's kind of interesting when you think about it. There are people whose entire livelihood depends upon people not being able to play old music. And their kind of grip on in gatekeeping music is about ready to break. Things like this are technically in the public domain. It's even by a guy whose original license would have been through Russia, a Russia that no longer exists. So, I find it very funny that people think that they can somehow copyright it. It has been quite the Christmas season. It hasn't really been the, what you might say, the most exciting of Christmas seasons. But it's been at least good and memorable. I need to figure out a better solution for when I get the new mic stand in. I did get a new mic stand, by the way, and it didn't work. So I have to take it back and... or I have to get a piece of wood that I'll be able to use to attach it to my table, because my table doesn't have the ability to hold it. I have an idea for it. It's a board that I left over at a relative's house that I should be able to pull it off with. I'm going to see, though. But anyway, I was mentioning about that. It's not the most memorable Christmas season, but it's not been a bad one. Now, there are some people, they will mention about how difficult the Christmas season can get. And I tend to think that we get a little too, I'd say maybe excited about the, some of the over some of the celebrations, and we start to stress about it. Others don't like it just because it means that somebody else is having joy when they're not. I can understand that. When I was at Disney, there was that feeling of that, wow, everybody has kind of an experience that I can't have right now. And so it does start to eat at you a little bit. But it also is not terrible. Some people would probably find some sort of comfort in knowing that, well, it will happen sooner rather than later. I can hold off. And sometimes it still can be very difficult, regardless. And for that, there are people, many times, that will reach out and will help to soften it for people. That happened to us when we were down at Disney. Merry Christmas to you too, Rolling Chairs. Hope you are doing well. So when I was at Disney, what happened was it was very hard to be able to do any sort of Christmas celebrations. And so Cru Ministries actually got involved. Now, that's for college campuses for the most part, but there's so many students down at Disney. They're like, hey, let's have a group down here. And so they did. And they were a godsend for so many. We didn't have the ability to go to churches down at Disney. All the churches were 20 minutes away by driving for people that have no cars. The only church that was on the street at the time was more of a questionable church, and so thus none of us felt comfortable going to it. And so Cru Ministries reached out and said, hey, we have an apartment in the area. We will help drive people there. It's nearby one of the bus stops. If you're able to take one of the company buses. They chose it very well. And everybody who went there had a wonderful experience. And some incredible friendships were made along the way that would not have happened had Cru Ministries not gotten involved. But they did this for Thanksgiving, and they did it for Christmas time. And at first, they were not all that keen on wanting to really do a whole lot in terms of services. But after a couple of weeks, they're like, dang, all these students, they don't have churches that they can go to. They don't have, so thus they don't even have families that they can be able to reach out to while they are stuck down here. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of encouraging people to go to Disney. If you are tough and you have the ability to stand on your own, then it's something that I don't really hesitate for. It's like, well, if you have that ability to hold your own, then sure. But most people didn't have the ability to hold their own. A lot of them were very broken. And I heard about the nightmare stories that would take place. But I didn't really know how bad it got for some of them until much later. But I tell you what, during the holiday seasons, the ability to disconnect from it all, to be able to go to an apartment where there is a couple of families that are hosting a celebration, and you're getting a chance to meet other fellow Christians down there. It worked wonders. Disney was not too keen on what they were doing, but they didn't really interfere a whole lot, thankfully. But they definitely were not so happy because they tried to do things for their own students, and they didn't want them to leave the property. But of course, they wouldn't look the other way when there's some more maybe questionable sort of activities that would take place. But when the church comes in, they would just conveniently not be all excited for students want to go and do that sort of stuff. But so for several weeks, we would go to these events, and I got to go there with a Chinese friend of mine, Japanese friend of mine as well, and it was always a reset to your week. You would start to feel weary, and before I started going, I felt like I was about ready to break. So I reached out to a college friend of mine who was also down there, and I had not seen for very much, and said, "Hey, you really should come to this event." "No, I don't have the time for it. I'm too busy doing things." "Okay. Well, it's there if you want it." And that person had a very tough time. But the people that did go, they went from having a horrible experience to suddenly leaving with a smile and able to tackle that next week. What's this piece? Let's say it's this piece right here. Never underestimate the role that you play in the life of another. You never know how it will impact them. Like Cru Ministries, there are people in your area that I'm certain that probably experience the same sort of loneliness. And by your involvement, you can be able to change that for them. Now, it's not guaranteed to happen necessarily. There's a lot of people that you can try to help as much as you want, but they just will be standoffish. I've met a couple of people like that before. But there are still going to be people that are in need, and they are going to appreciate the offer. Now, maybe not a family event sort of thing. That might be a little much for them. But by saying, you know what, we're going to be having a celebration where multiple people are going to be showing up. We'd like you to come along too. You know, that's the one thing that I really want to want to do when I'm older. I say older because that means I would actually have the means to do it, maybe a location to do it. Because I can't really do it right now. I can't bring people into this crowded apartment and expect them to be able to have a good festive time. Nor am I very good at cooking, which means I would be reliant upon some other folks to contribute. But I do want to be able to have that ability to work in the community and reach out to people who are in need. Now, you got to be careful with that. You can be so accepting that you end up making some mistakes, and I have seen that happen before. when you invite a whole bunch of people over, and including some people that maybe were not the best ones to bring on the list. And then they end up sabotaging the whole event, and then people leave in a fit. And they're like, why did I even bother to show up at this point? That can happen. Well, I don't have the candle. I thought I did, but I have a bigger flame. That would be a little overpowered. I guess we'll make just this into our lights. Alright, looks like we are then going to repeat this. Wonderful. Now when this gets put on, we're going to rotate it. Aha, yes, wonderful. Now, I don't have the other decorations, but I do have this sphere that is listed on the manual. Uh-oh. Okay, so we grab this. Copy all to selected. Hide that. Delete. Bring it back. So now we're going to make one more set of these, but it's going to be a smaller iteration. Delete those. And rotate this 45 degrees. Odd. It's off center. Oh well, peculiar. All right, so for this one, we need first these pieces right here. Followed by a 3. Save that file before I go into much further. Ah, yes. You know, we haven't used those emotes in a long time. Milo turned and said, "Indeed." I miss that in many ways, but I also don't in others. It's allowed my brain to reset on Milo in a very unique way. This next week, I'm going to be doing streaming, but just about every day. But it's going to be a lot of work that I'm going to be doing during the daytime. Hopefully, it will result in the first Milo product in a long, long time. You know, I was watching a stream a while back, and I heard that some people were really leaning into the old Red Dead RP, and I found that a little interesting because I remember they were saying initially, "Oh, it's dead. No one's ever going to go back to it," and now it's back in full force. It's become almost as popular in some ways as the GTA RP. Alright, we need an end cap for this. I don't have the right size end cap. Ugh. Odd. Okay. Do a simple makeshift one. There we go, because I can't edit it in here. Maybe there's another way to do this right here. Oh no, this will work. Bring this up. Yeah, okay, that ain't gonna work. Guess I have to actually turn this thing into a piece? I don't want to spend time doing that. This is supposed to be a fast animation. Is there another another brick I can use? Oh, it's not even going to be visible. Oh, well, that's tacky then. I don't need to bother about that, so I thought this was the top of it. But no, there's some other pieces here. Huzzah! Oh, actually, almost there. Goes out. And over here. So I never needed to get rid of this. Bring that back up. Then I bring that back down on top. And I'll rotate that in a moment. So bring that back up here. Put some more 4x2 plates up here. Anybody who actually knows the set that I'm modeling this off of will spot all the errors. And that's because I'm trying to take some shortcuts. Not bad to take shortcuts on the occasion, but you definitely don't want to make a big habit of that. So this one gets some of these again. Almost done. I think I'm missing some more pieces. Oh, no, never mind. Got it. Looking for a connector piece that must maybe put bricks on the side of a brick. Where did I put? Oh, there we go. This one. Oh, interesting. They actually have a different brick. Now this will do. So what is a Christmas tradition that you wish people were doing more? It gets a little easy to kind of just go through the motions of other people's traditions. But what is a tradition that you've seen before, or maybe that you've not seen, that you kind of wish people did more often? Would it be an activity? Would it be a type of food that you want to see around more would be doing specific sort of travel. What would that look like? Be right back. So here's a tradition I wish happened a little bit more often, and this is based upon old traditions that have kind of been forgotten. Well, old activities that have kind of been forgotten. Wait a minute, why is this not connecting correctly? Oh, I wasn't supposed to put this one here. I wish there were more, more community banquets that would take place. Kind of like back in the olden days of England. I wish that still existed. And maybe they do, just not in my area or not in the circles I'm in. I'm not saying anything related to that in a long, long time. I don't have this piece either. Rats. I thought for certain I did. Guess I'll make do with these. I've noticed there's a lot of traditions that people do, or once did, that they don't do because it's not convenient for the time or because it's costly. But the biggest thing is the cost of time. A lot of people refuse to do things that take time and effort. And I think that's one of the reasons why community activities have kind of disappeared. But I've noticed social cohesion disappearing as well, and as a result of that. Imagine if you were to try and, well, if you're going to try and focus on things that were going to be a multi-day celebration. You're going to have activities. It's going to be coordinated by someone over months. You help to give some people employment. That's a positive. You get to go and give people the opportunity to do something special that will give them maybe a little bit of notoriety to them and their skills in a way that maybe they haven't had before. Give people a chance to rise up and contribute to their community in a meaningful way that they get to see direct improvements for. Get to address some problems in a community. Now, people might not be so keen on that one, but it still can be good. I just don't like the idea that we've spent so much money trying to fix so many things in our communities, and yet, at the same time, we've not really solved a whole lot. Have you noticed that? We have all these government programs, and they're not fixing anything. We have all these chances for people to be engaged in a digital way, and yet we feel more disengaged. By having community, either, I don't know if you call them festivals or just some way to engage that would allow people to feel that connection to their community, like people of old would do. It obviously worked once upon a time, and we're not seeing people doing that now. So I view it as something that we need to try and figure out over the generations to come. We have to reestablish it, create maybe some new ones. Have to wait and see. Lovely. Now we need to color it. Guess we have colored this from the top down. Oh, I need a star out in the middle. There's one more connection piece that's going to be needed for that one. One last one. And it's going to be this right over here. Bingo. Wonderful. Okay, colors. Now is this one, this is gold. Transparent orange, that's what we want. Link materials. This one will be the same. Actually, no, wait. Both these will be golden. Link materials. Now we're going to start hiding them as we work our way down the tree. And this, we're going to alternate greens for this. We'll start off with this. Link material. This one. Link material. This one. Link material. There, that will add some dimension to this. Or I think we'll add dimension to it. Actually, it kind of needs to be the reverse. Lighter on the outside. There, that's nicer. Uh-oh. I hid the other part there. There we go. Okay. Hide those instead. Hide. There we go. Now this is where the wood is going to be. So link that and that. This ring, let's have it this color. Let's bring it back, see how that's looking. Not bad. We're not going to be going for too terribly much longer. Yeah, these ones are going to get the transparent colors. And I don't have clear. Interesting. So we're going to give this a different color. Temporary color. We are going to be definitely trying to stream later. I think it's going to be around 10 that I get back. Maybe. We're going to be doing games for tonight. We're doing the art today. games for tonight. So that's the plan. Oh, wait a minute. I did have the color. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Oh, that's not actually... Okay, never mind. It's not the right one. So we're just going to have a new type of glass. Transmission. There we go. It's already there. Perfect. Link that. Now these ones right here, again with that same mentality from earlier, I'm gonna go lighter green towards the edges. And this one, dark green. Yes. Should be able to get this core in one bout. There we go. Link material. Hide. Sensational. Now these ones all kind of need to be the same color. Because the light underneath will be what actually will change its look. Yeah, we're going to add some lights to these so that way they don't feel too bland. So we can just grab all of these right here. We'll give it the glass texture. You know, I was talking with a guy recently, and he was mentioning about some of the activities that he was doing. And you know what was interesting to me? He didn't have a desire to do things that were work-related. Now, why did I find this strange? Because there's a lot of people in that category. It's because he's in a tough bind. Financially in a tough bind. Kind of trapped in many ways. And he doesn't realize that his world, while he may not like work, it's something that he's been putting off. Now, I'm not saying to be a workaholic. I definitely don't agree with that. But I did find it interesting that he was so set in this idea of working only a little and playing a lot. And especially when he was financially in a tough bind. Well, I got to kind of chat with him, see if there's what kind of drove him down that path. And I can't blame him for the way that he kind of was going about it. But it was still very destructive to his future. It's caused a lot of strain in many ways. So the takeaway I kind of want to have for it is that there are people in this world. There are a lot of people in this world who will spend every hour of every day doing nothing. And when push comes to shove, they start to feel discouraged as time goes on because they're realizing that the play didn't actually contribute a whole lot to their future. The reason why I brought this up is because there is a guy who came to our streams a while back. He was from the Northwest, and his dream was to become medically handicapped so he could be able to play all day. This is a guy in his 30s that wanted to do that. And I remember him coming through and like, what would drive you to such a state? Why would you be so desirous of really becoming nothing? And it still baffles me. I have no idea how someone could be in that way. But so it is. There are some people in this world, they are, for whatever reason, they feel like everything has fallen apart and they don't have a place. And so their solution is to pull back and to just indulge. Now, there are some places where this is acceptable in some cases, but in most cases it's not. Right now, we are in a time of charity and kindness. It's not a time that's for you or for me. It's designed to be able to focus primarily on Christ. Second off, on family and friends and those that are kin, maybe not of blood, but in spirit. It's not about getting. It's not about indulging. And alas, there is an entire generation that wants desperately to indulge, to find a level of comfort and you could say pleasure in this life. They want to find that without looking for it in the next life. We're not made to go through this life carefree. We're made to go forth and make a difference, to be involved, to look after one another. I dare say, if we spend all our time trying to indulge ourselves, we are risking a lot. We are looking at the world and saying, you know what, you owe me rather than I owe everyone else. Businesses right now are being gluttons for money. Buyers are being gluttons for what they can get, how they can win over people's affections, or people that are buying for themselves, or any number of things. And we all have a choice to leave that mentality. Hey, I'm liking how that's turning out. But that takes some effort. That takes some effort to say, I refuse to be a pawn of my desires, of the devil's desires. I want to do what is good and honorable. I want to look after others' well-being rather than my own. Now, a child really struggles with that during this time of year. I've heard many kids that look at Christmas as a time of get, rather than give. But eventually you hit a point of maturity where that gets turned upside down. Now, what does that have to do with the guy that I mentioned at the start of the story? The guy that wants to indulge his senses and his wants to play all day. He's a permanent child. He's not learned to give. He only wants to take. So if you meet somebody like that, I wonder how many of them would end up maybe if you were looking to their history, if you suddenly learn that they were maintained as a child for so long that they just became permanently stuck in that mindset. Who knows? Greetings, Tweed Tone. Very cool. I started teaching myself to learn Blender these last couple of months. I've been getting into animation. I love learning / getting good. Well, I hope you find some success with that. We've had it's been a bumpy road in many ways trying to learn Blender. That's one of the reasons why I'm resorting to Legos to try and master my skills. Because the other stuff that are not Lego related, they take a whole lot of effort. And you mess up a lot. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to eliminate as many problems as possible with learning animation. That way, when I get ready for the stuff that's not Lego related, hopefully I'll encounter as few problems as possible. By the way, Merry Christmas and hope you are doing well this holiday season. It is nice that we're in an age where we can actually learn a tool like this and not have to rely upon a massive college course to get familiar with it. I knew some people, they did take a college course for this. And I thought it was nonsense. I took a Blender, taking a Blender course, that's nothing. You should be taking Maya. And I took a Maya course. And I'm not using Maya. Suddenly, my college friends feel like they were geniuses at the time for being able to see that and make the shift when I was unable to see how important this software would become to my career. It is a process and can be frustrating. I started with basic, small rigged renders and began messing with animation physics and basic things. Thanks, Merry Christmas to you too. So, my very first animation I ever did, I think I have it right here. I'm going to put it under... I think I put it over here. This was my very, very first animation. Well, actually, wait just a second. Maybe I'm not going to be able to find it, so that would be a pointless thing to say this is the first animation if I can't locate it. I try to put it all under one series of folders, but lo and behold, it's not there. Be under finals. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So this is not the first render, but it's pretty darn close. This happened years and years and years ago. It took me hours to do this. This was with a software called Lightwave. And man, was it a tough program to use. It had a lot of great features, and I wish that other companies did some of the things that they did. Now, why was this one so hard? Because I couldn't use physics. This was back before physics were like super easy to do. So another one I did. Look at that wonderful, smooth animation. A fish coming out of the fish tank because I couldn't figure out how to make that work. Oh, golly. And it took many years till finally I could do this right here. Took 15 years of experience to get to that point. But you know what? I very much enjoyed learning all that stuff and getting to that point. So now I can be able to pull off stuff like this, but I struggle with it. That's why I'm turning back to Legos to kind of learn some of the basics again, because I'm not very fast. I need to get faster. Turns out my Lego Star Wars Ultimate Collector series set are quite a pretty penny now. Sold a few to fund for a nice guitar I've been wanting. Love them as a kid, but I love guitars more. Yeah, so many other programs don't make things easy. It's pretty amazing how Blender, being free, has all of these tools, other program hacks, and it's possible through learning. And it's all possible through learning. So with Blender, they have a community. And their community is thankfully really, that's weird, is super engaged. And they are always trying to make sure that people have the resources they need to thrive. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, grab this, grab that, link that before I do this. Okay, bring that back. Now I hide that. There we go. Now there's a couple other programs that are trying to take a cue from that, but not really effective. Other software, they've really tried to take the Blender route, and it's not working. I think the reason why Blender works is because it was a sacrificial act by a crew that realized the need for a free software like this. I expect that Blender is going to become at risk, though, in the future. Once the founder passes away, I fear that a lot of infighting will cause people to tear the program apart. So I am happy for the program now, but I've learned human nature is to want to try and gouge people financially. And I do not look forward to that day when I open up the software and it says to continue using our software in its current state, you will have to pay us a huge amount of money. Why do I think that is possible? Because other companies have done that. And because other companies were able to get away with it, I'm very wary about the future of Blender. So I make sure to download Blender so that I can make so if they ever do lock down stuff in the future, I still have the old versions good to go. But that's assuming that computers of tomorrow will be able to actually run it. We've seen with old computer games, they don't always work. Am I a little pessimistic about this? Yeah, I admit that. Because recently some people have tried to do that with the software I liked. And that was Godot. And while it didn't quite get to the extreme that I'm kind of giving the example of, there is infighting, and it happens eventually. Hopefully, the creative communities out there will maintain a love of the program to the point of where they keep fixing it. But I'm trying to learn how to program so that way, if they do ever lock stuff down, I'll have the ability to still do a little bit of maintenance on it. But I'm not very good at it. Yeah, but they'll paywall certain features and update new features behind a monthly subscription. Heaven forbid that happen. But they tried to do that with the software I was using all the time, and that was ClipPaint Studio. They tried to do that, and thankfully they pulled back when they saw the backlash from the community. Like, yes, people are making a stand. Liking how that's turning out. How long have you been learning Blender? And what sort of projects do you think, well, are you hoping to be able to pull off with it? I got a couple of projects that are in the works that hopefully will become a reality over the next few months. I've done 3-4 animations this last year. I'm hoping to double that for this next year. Oh, I don't want that color. I want this one right here. Almost done. I want to say 2 years now. I do it for fun and I like learning. I'd say I'm decent, nowhere near mastery. Well, I dare say most of us are in that process of learning and not mastering. Hope you find some good success with it though. It is a good program to learn. I actually have been using it for my career because, you know, it's really hard to try and make a living off of this if you're not employed doing it. Very, very hard. But I've had the benefit of getting to really actually, I think that might be all I need to do with that. Yeah, it's actually good. Okay, we'll leave it at that. I've been doing this for years now, but when I was working at a TV station, they were saying that they wanted some 3D elements, and I did not know how to do it because I was working with Maya. And Blender took me forever to learn. And thankfully, I eventually learned it, but by then I had already left the TV station, and I ended up being able to use it for a while afterwards. It took me years and years to finally get to a point where I can use it for projects on a regular basis. Now I do it without second thought, you could say. But it was a multi-year process, and probably about 5 years in total to actually become comfortable with it, to the point of where I didn't freak out every time I opened up the program and wondered if it was going to blow up on me. Well, we're coming to the end of the stream for today. Well, at least for this daytime stream. We're going to be doing this more in the evening, and we're going to be doing some games as well. Just a reminder, we are going to be streaming for most days of this week. Some of it will be animation, some of it will be activity, some of it will be art. They're not going to be super elaborate streams like sometimes in the past. I'm going to primarily be focusing on things outside, because I want to be able to give the first product for some of these projects that have been in the works for so long. I want to finally get to the point where some of them are there, and I'm very close. And so I think that over this next week, I'll be able to really channel a lot of effort into that, and hopefully be able to have something to show you all soon. And some of it, especially for people who have been around for a long time, you're probably really going to like it. If you're new to it, you're probably going to say, actually, this is kind of interesting, but not entirely sure how this idea got sparked. And that's because there's a bit of a backstory to it. But trying to make it so that people of all backgrounds are going to be able to appreciate it, and then try and figure out what to do with it afterwards. All right, so let's do a quick little test render of this. Bring in a camera. Object. Where is it? Here we go. let's see what this one looks like. Save the scene and make sure that the limit is on 100. No, wait, we can do smaller these days. Max it there and that's pretty decent for a first-time render. Maybe not as good as some of the past ones that I've been able to do, but not bad for one day. Been grinding Marvel Rivals ranked. I've been hooked. I hit Diamond and hope to hit Grandmaster soon. Hey, congratulations. We've been dabbling in Marvel Rivals as of late. I am not very good at it. But it has been a fun shakeup from our regular Fortnite streams. We used to do far more community games. We got rid of those. We got rid of many of them over the last 2 years, and I really wish there's a way to go back and kind of change that around, but not really possible just yet. But that's something we've been trying to figure out. Anyway, for those that came by, much appreciated. For those that watch this later on, Merry Christmas to you one and all, and hope you're going to have a wonderful time with your family and friends between now and the new year. We're going to be bringing the stream to an end today. A reminder that we do have a stream later on tonight. We are going to be doing some Fortnite for that. Maybe something else, not entirely sure. We're going to animate the last little bit of this. And then on top of that, we're going to, I'm going to hold off on that other thing until after the New Year's. But yeah, we will see you all next time. Just a reminder, be civil to one another. Have a blessed Merry Christmas. And we will see you all next time.